rudely interrupted on the dimensions. Can't really remember where I got to, but I think I was explaining about putting it on the sheet first. Now, obviously, this sheet we would have, we wouldn't be showing the DXF, for example, but this is an example. And this first floor plan and second roof plan is only there to show you. I'm sure I don't need to go through that. Right, so we're here on our sheet and we want to put in some the annotation. We want to put in the annotation, which includes dimensions, room names, pretty much any other text or detailing that we might do. So here are our views on the sheets. We type VD on the keyboard to make that view active. Go to the Annotate tab and select our aligned dimension. This is the main one that we use. Zoom in, select our lines. We want to show dimensions for windows and doors. So we go to the edge of our window, edge of our door, edge, 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 and then what we're trying to show is the major elements. If we try and work on the basis of 3 strings, this line of dimensions we call a string. That's a string of dimensions. We always look to have 3 strings. The string closest to the model would be the smaller dimensions, so the most dimensions, and the one furthest away would be the overall dimensions. Now, in this case, we might do that to that, and then to that. Pull it down here, click once, and then we might go from that to that, and then do that. See? So we're getting all of our, we're giving lots of information there. Now, Control Z to undo all of that. What we're not showing here, what we're not representing, is that this is a semi-detached house. So this wall here is an outside wall. That's the non-party of the semi, and this is a party wall. This is the one joining the 2 houses. This is a party wall, which means it's a shared wall. So when we're dimensioning, we only want to go up to the boundary line because that's the extent of what bit we own in most cases. So we want to put a boundary line in. So we go, we're on our Annotate tab, we go to Detail Line, and then over here on our line styles, we go to TPM Boundary up here. You'll see these other boundaries, they're for location and site plans, which we'll see at another time. This one here, you want TPM boundary. It's a pick up the middle point somewhere. There you go. Drag it down. Escape to come out of it. Select it again. Zoom out. Grab its little end. Drag it up. I'm using the mouse wheel pressing button thing, and I think it's difficult. You'll work it out. That's what we want, this line with short dashes and long dashes. That shows us where that boundary line is and signifies that it's a party wall. So then we would come down back to our aligned dimensions, pick up our outside wall, window, window, edge, window, window, boundary, and there's our first string. Second string onto the party boundary, and then our last string is our overall dimension. And we set them out so they're nice and neat and they're equally spaced. Okay. Now we want a dimension in this direction, so we select our aligned dimension again. I often use the shortcut, which is DI for dimension. So going in this direction, we want the front of the house, the back of the original house, and the back of the existing extension. Drag it out. Now, this is the point where we are looking to see that we're going to have more, require more space. So VD to come out of that existing view. We're going to try and steal ourselves some real estate. So we'll move this one over. Now, I'm using the arrow keys on the keyboard, but if I hold down Shift and use one of those arrows, it'll go in bigger jumps. That works about right. Now, of course, it wouldn't look like this because we wouldn't have these numbers, but we wouldn't be showing the survey underlay. But there we go. We've bought ourselves some more space. So we go back into this view, align dimension or DI to go in. And we don't need 3 strings, we only need 2 strings, so we'll pick up that, and then that edge, and then that edge. Oh no, we already had that one, sorry. Highlight it, delete it, DI again for dimension, zoom in, pick up our front wall, and then just our back wall to give us our second and overall string. Now there's a difference going on from the back to the house. If this little existing single story extension didn't exist, there'd be very little point in putting more than one string, if any, on the back. But as this is different, pick up that edge, that edge, that edge, and then to the boundary, and we'll stick that one there. I want to do that again just to show you something. So we select our line tool, sorry, our line dimension tool, pick up that line, that line, that line. There's lots of different settings in dimensions. We have our dimensions set so that these little bits that project below this diagonal line, that's called the extension line. We have them set to a specific depth, and I like to leave a space. I don't like to see them like that. It can look confusing and you might misunderstand it for being a dimension line as opposed to a detail line. So leave a decent amount of space so we can see see a gap between the dimension and the dimension object, and then click to place it. And the only other thing that, well, in this case actually, it might be worth putting the dimension string on this side to pick up this distance here and this distance, although that distance is given there. Try not to overload with dimensions. It can get a bit too much. and you can't really see drawing design. So if it's very necessary, then put them in. If not, don't bother. So then we move to internal dimensions. In fact, I think I'll come back to internal dimensions because we want to put the rooms in first. So that'll do.